level inspirational concept to life.
And I want to say this again. I think that's the purpose of an association is to create that common language, to create usable metrics that we can agree upon. Because otherwise, I mean, we're everybody's reinventing the wheel and we're never talking the same language. Very, very important. Rico, do you have any questions? So just in case you didn't hear it, you probably heard it, but just in case, the question was of a cultural nature. Is there a difference in culture with developing countries, non-developing countries, or whatever the new euphemisms are for that? Also, is there a difference between Asia, North America, what sustainability is concerned? I think a lot of people would be surprised that some nations are much more forward-thinking with sustainability is concerned than they would think.
Yes, I would say that the commonality is the people and the community is really passionate about this topic because like the purpose of PMI is maximize the project success to elevate the world. And this gives the practicality to elevate every project to really achieve our purpose. So I would say that the commonality is people are really happy that PMI took that bold stand in the sustainability space. Then there are cultural difference on the reactions. We were like in Africa and people were really passionate, really excited. Some people getting certified while we were there to become champions. So that passion and emotion. I was the head of community for Europe, where for many years in Europe sustainability was a topic, and they were asking what's going to be might be doing in this space. So in Europe, I have been hearing and sensing the passion and chapters already doing things around sustainability. I know that we have a huge opportunity in China. It's a big market, and there are many consulting firms in sustainability that are opening operations and also the regulations and so on. So I would say that the world is going to be moving in that direction, regardless, we call it sustainability, resilience, transformation, but it's the long-term perspective. And then the difference are more in terms of like the natural culture and the way of behaving. I would say that the passion is there. So, and now that we have the tools in our PMI ecosystem, it's a matter of how we implement that with our culture difference. And some people are more shy. Some people are, as you were explaining about the US mindset versus the European mindset. So everyone brings their own identity to the table, but the passion, the commitment, the appetite to learn, connect, and give back is there.
I asked you about the UN before, and are you doing any work directly with the UNDP or with the UNIDO?
Not.
I think you guys would be a great match because a lot of the projects I know from those two organizations are focused, have brilliant case, because I think that's another thing that we're looking for besides giving people awards. Yeah. I think people love when they realize they're not the first mover. They like to be the follower. And if you have lots of good examples, and one of the things I learned from a podcast I did with my mentor from the UNIDO, he said, one of the biggest challenges about the UNIDO is their mission was to bring all nations onto one industrial level of maturity. And he says the problem with that vision right now, or that mission, is that to put everybody on the same standard, we don't have the energy capacity. We don't have the means, the raw materials right now to be able to facilitate that. So it means two things. Either we need to change the standard of living, the expectation, or sustainability needs to become a key driving force. And I'm going to make an assumption. I would think, a lot of people say, it's the developed countries that are more forward-thinking what sustainability is. But I think there's lots of amazing examples in developing countries. Is that your experience as well?
Yes, absolutely. I think that's what I was trying. You articulated better than me, but I'm not sensing a difference in terms of more developed or underdeveloped countries. I think it's much more understanding that we need to think in the long-term perspective. And I see interest in many regions. All the regions are interested. You mentioned like the political situation. I'm not sensing that is impacting the level of commitment that people have in this topic.
And if we're looking for people to look and keep an eye on, I recently heard that China of all countries is at the foremost front. Right up there with wind energy, solar energy, is really absolutely leading the way in that.
Yes, yes. Of course, it's a huge market, but I would say that China is doing, and a lot of consulting and institutions that focus on sustainability are opening operations there. So I think we can look at China. Of course, as we were saying, like organizations, academia, institutions as PMI are leading in this space. I think that's going to be the trend for the future. Regardless, we call it sustainability, we call it resiliency, we call it regeneration, but it's thinking about the impact, the long-term impact, the role that business play, and how we activate the entire ecosystem.
Lucila, it was a pleasure having you in my podcast.
Pleasure
I hope you had
mine.
fun as
a
well.
Lot of fun. A lot of fun. I want to come back next week.
Yeah, we'll. I'm sure. I would love to have a follow up, but I'm sure we'll figure that out.
Yes, and we need more women.
Yes, we need more women. Right?
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Have fun in Arizona. I wish I would be joining you. I have other things to do, unfortunately, or thank heaven, whatever the two. Thanks a lot. For those of you who have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to Lucila. She's on LinkedIn, over the website. There's plenty of opportunities. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you so much.